Hey, folks, I always like to say we're back, right? We're back at Circuit World. It's Friday morning. It's a little cold, 32 degrees up here in North Georgia. We're at Circuit World here in Blue Ridge. I'm your host, BKP. We have a great lineup this morning. We have Ask the Doc with Dr. William Whaley and Ray Tidman. They are over there discussing the questions now. So we have Ask the Doc. We have the All-Star Political Panel. We have our Pet of the Week from the Humane Society of Blue Ridge, and we also have Tax Tips with Beth Bennett. So we have a great show. I love the Friday show. I know Monday through Thursday, I get focused in 100% for 2 hours to 3 hours on politics. But Friday, I really enjoy talking with the doctors, and our Pet of the Week kind of rounds out the week for us. I'm just looking outside and watching what I call small town America starting up. Love it. So want to thank everybody at Circuit World. You know, they come in here 6:30 in the morning, make sure that we have an area to work, to film, and everything is ready, and I appreciate them so much. So, you know, it's a little cold, so maybe it's a great time for a trip to Cancun, right? Oh my gosh, the media has lost it over Texas Senator Ted Cruz going to Cancun. So I'll ask the All-Star Political Panel what they think during the deep freeze in Texas. You know, it's a bad situation down there. I want to get the All-Star Political Panel to tell me their take on the Texas power grid. We always hear the media's logic account and what they want us to believe is happening. So we'll get the All-Star Political Panel to talk a little bit about what took place, what is taking place in Texas. There's been some talk that the windmills and some of the Green New Deal type energy sources may be the reason why millions have been without power in Texas. So we'll dig into that in just a little bit. This past week also, a conservative media giant died, Rush Limbaugh. And have you read, I mean, I get it. Not everybody liked Rush. I get it this morning. People don't like me. I get it. But if we're supposed to be a unifying country, if Joe Biden and the Democrats talk that we need to unify, when somebody, no matter if you like them or not, dies of cancer, do you really say some of the nasty, ugly things that are going around social media? Because I've told people I disagree with a lot of people, okay? I do. People disagree with me. But I'll look right in the camera and say, I don't wish no harm on anybody. Seriously. I mean, I don't wish harm on anybody. And it's just, I don't know, some of the things that have been said this week about Rush, just say it. Donald Trump, President Donald J. Trump, has come out. This is a big Trump week. Put out a statement on how he feels. How do you really feel, Mr. President, about Mitch McConnell? How do you really feel about Governor Brian Kemp? How do you really feel about Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger? So we will break down President Trump's statement. He also went on Newsmax this week, so he's back out in the media. Now, I don't know. We have articles here that say Nikki Haley, okay? There's people trying to separate themselves from Donald Trump. Nikki Haley, which is one former governor of South Carolina, former UN ambassador, kindly said we should not have followed Donald Trump down this road. Well, I think she wanted to have a meeting with President Trump at Mar-a-Lago. Reports say he turned her down. Wow. Okay, we've got a lot to go over today. We're going to have Ask the Doc with Dr. William Whaley and Ray Tidman, and we want to get right onto that because then we're going to have our All-Star Political Panel, our Pet of the Week, and Tax Tips with Beth Bennett. I'm your host, BKP. We're at Circuit World in Blue Ridge, Georgia. Take us a break.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Do you feel like healthcare has become too impersonal?
3 times an hour, I'll get you in, I'll get you out.
At Lifetime Medical Center, you're more than a number. We get to know you, not just your medical issues. Dr. Alana Kent is board certified in family practice and offers same-day appointments. She and her staff treat conditions from minor to chronic issues. Lifetime Medical Center, convenient to Jasper and Blue Ridge.
This may sting a little.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
It's been 4 generations of family ownership, tens of thousands of customers, and more Chevys than we'd ever be able to count. And more than 60 years later, when we say Days gets it done, we still mean it. With the North Georgia Mountain's lowest Chevy prices, a huge selection, and outstanding customer care. See Days Chevrolet in Jasper, and let's get it done. Days Chevrolet, Days gets it done. Find new roads. Days Chevrolet. North Georgia is truck country, and nobody discounts Chevy trucks like Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Now save $8,000 off new Silverado crew cabs, or save $5,700 on the all-new body style Equinox. Every Chevy truck and SUV discounted big. See Days Chevrolet in Jasper, the low-price leader in truck country. Days Chevrolet, Days gets it done. Find new roads.
All right, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP, North Georgia Cancer Specialist, affiliated with Northside Hospital. It's time for Ask the Doc. We have Dr. Raymond Tidman over here. Who are you? I think I recognize you.
Were you in my red face?
I think I know you.
I mean, I'm your host, you know. Usually I wear
Dr. William Whaley.
a fancy tie. Rush Limbaugh died day before yesterday. And then he was in the tie business, and he was in the conservative radio business, and I got a signed picture of him his second year in business. It's in my office. So
good. I like
here's to you, Rush.
Yes, and
no politics on the show.
No politics.
And that's the truth. Okay, go ahead.
But the man sold ties.
Yeah,
had sold a lot of ties. Hi, how are you?
Fair to Midland.
He's wearing his socks. He's
I got the fancy butterfly socks on. Are we? I know we have two questions. Are we going to throw in derm cancer treatment today? Or?
No, but that's my red face.
But I will say this. I want to prepare you.
What? Oh, yeah.
We have two questions that somebody has sent in, our audience, and then we have a question from my mom.
Oh.
We have a mom question.
Right. They're the best ones. Because what moms don't know is, that's pretty far up.
The first question?
No, we'll hold that one. But mom sent a question. I think you guys are going to like it, so we'll hold on to that one.
We caught up in rain. We were 0.6 inches short last week. We're back up in rain, okay? And we're 10 degrees below the average temperature today, and it's going to be really sunny and pretty when Ray goes up to the mountains.
Let me say this. I am glad that we are back into answering their questions, and they're related to our health outside of COVID. Now, COVID, we still are going to have the discussion, but I'm really glad that we're back to answering those kind of questions.
Whoa, not only that, but the top 4 medical news issues this week we're going to talk about at the end, because one of them is the lack of preventive and primary care, particularly kids. No preschool physicals, so they're not getting eyes examined, they're not getting scoliosis,
right.
And they're not getting somebody talk about their shots. But that's at the end of the program now. You're getting out of sync.
All right. I'm not going to get out of sync.
I know exactly where this question came from. It actually came in last week on Thursday, but I didn't have it because I put these together on Wednesday night, as you remember. And I saw a patient exactly like this in my office yesterday. I am worried. Listen real carefully to this one, Ray. I am worried about my wife, who is 68 years old. We live half the year in Miami. That's a lot up here. People live half the year up here and half the year somewhere else in a high rise. So that's densely populated. And we came up here in March. That's basically a year ago, when the COVID started, to be safe. And we have stayed in our mountain home full time. That I hear that every day. Only I go for shopping. She has low gamma globulin for 4 years and gets infusions every month and has had no infections or problems. She was a competitive tennis player until we came up here, and she's getting cabin fever, mental health. Poor woman has been nailed to the house for a year. She has what they call smoldering chronic leukemia of lymphocytes and has never needed to be treated. We're going to talk about where low gamma globulin comes from in a minute. Now she does video with her doctor in Miami every 3 months. So for a year, she's done all of her follow-up for gamma globulin and smoldering leukemia on infusion. And she gets her infusions up here from Home Health. So they're coming into the mountain house. They check her labs. This guy was good about his question. Now the doctor's pushing her hard to get the COVID vaccine. She is frightened to do so because of the internet. So she's been spending all the time she should have been playing tennis, sitting in the mountain cabin getting cabin fever and watching the internet. What do I think? Okay, basically.
Well, you got a lot to unpack there.
Well, it's easier but a lot of this is for you, The answer is let her get the COVID shot and get her out of the house. As soon as she had both COVID shots, let her go back to playing tennis. That's the short answer. I put up that first one there, and we'll cover up the screen with this because it's huge. But we haven't talked about low gamma globulin here in a long time. You remember we talk about MUGUS, too much protein, but not the right part. So gamma globulin, is it covering up the whole screen? All right, I'll get it off in just a second. There are a lot of different things that do it, but in terms of impact, the first one is different kinds of stuff, like rheumatoid arthritis, you got kidney disease, and you excrete all your gamma globulins. But the second is chronic lymphocytic leukemia, and we've talked about MUGUS and all of that. Pull that thing down. Then the whole bottom of this are all rare, but low gamma globulin is not terribly rare. It's pretty big, but almost all of them are related to people that have chronic lymphocytic leukemia, monoclonal gammopathy or something, and only 3 per 100,000 are due to anything else. So get that one down. So this woman had this come with the onset of the diagnosis of smoldering chronic lymphocytic leukemia, which is not treated and is causing her no trouble. So we've done this quite a few times. That's called stage 0, when you got lymphocytes in the blood, and it says median survival greater than 10 years, meaning we don't even know what it is. You live a long time. So they're doing the right thing to this lady. Pull that down and put up the next one. So the treatment for chronic lymphocytic leukemia, you've heard this many times. Now, what does that say?
Watch and wait.
Okay, we call that benign neglect. You don't want to do harm. She's not getting treated. So everything about this woman's treatment until she got here in March is perfectly okay and good. She should have been out. She was playing tennis. Okay, so now she's come up here. Throw that next one up there. The risk of low gamma globulin and chronic lymphocytic leukemia, when generally this occurs after you've been treated. You can pull that down now. But 15% of people who have this smoldering leukemia, they aren't sick in the least. They're just like us, but their gamma globulin levels are low. So they began giving her gamma globulin to prevent her from having chronic sinus infections and bronchitis and stuff. So everything that's been done to her has been good. My recommendation is get her those 2 COVID shots. When she's had that second COVID shot, there's a tennis center up here.
Right.
Get her in the tennis center and get her out of that daggum cabin.
Let me
Cheers, Ray.
put the audience, from the audience, I'm trying to imagine their questions here. We talk about patients from the cancer perspective as being higher or lower risk for something like COVID. For the most part, would this lady be considered a higher risk patient, not on any chemotherapy, not on any immune suppression?
Well, yeah, because she's got low gamma globulins, she's got chronic lymphocytic leukemia, and she's over 65.
Okay.
But she's not like somebody who's on aggressive
Immune suppressive,
aggressive therapy, or even rheumatoid arthritis, or what a psoriasis, getting that stuff you see on TV.
Right. So, I mean, the point being that just because you are seeing an oncologist doesn't mean that you are a higher risk for the COVID.
Right.
I mean, it's more often those that are on aggressive treatment that is suppressing their immune system, or they have a kind of cancer that does it. But most cancers on their own don't.
That's correct.
So, I would challenge one other thing you said there. Mental health is very, very important, and her exercise, her ability to keep her muscles toned up, her ability to get out and get fresh air, her ability to socialize, they're all part of her well-being. And tennis, outdoor tennis, I mean, it's almost as good as golf. I heard a good joke last week. The guy said, "I've been playing golf a long time. It's the best social distancing there is when I'm out in the woods looking for my golf ball." So, but there's some activities, some physical activities that are pretty doggone safe. So I totally support the advice. I'd even say, hey, go ahead and get outside and do your tennis now. Get your vaccine going. Everyone should be.
Well, she get her vaccine. She can do anything she wants to do. Yes, she should be playing tennis. And cabin fever is his way of saying he's driving her nuts, I think. Really. She's driving her nuts.
Well, yeah. I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, maybe she's driving him nuts, too. So, let's
remind me to double back on the golf reference. I don't want to stop this, but I want to double back on that.
Okay. Later. All right. Well, that's important. For me, it's an Easter egg hunt. But,
okay.
But anyway, we can go back to that later. I'm going on vacation again next month, and I'm struggling with the place where I'm going on vacation and their fear-based responses. And how many people in America now have had vaccinations? Over 30 million, or I don't know what the exact number is.
It's more than that.
Up there. Okay?
Yeah, it's way up there.
And you got a lot of people who have had no vacation for a year. Okay, and you've got sunny places in the world with abundant sunshine, fresh air, salt water, plenty of space.
Sitting on a boat.
Sitting on a boat. I mean, you've got these incredible places that would be fabulous places to go on a vacation, very healthy places to go on vacation, and the places where those things are need the income. They got lots of folks there just starving for business, and yet we have rulers in the world that think, no, yeah, you know, the only thing we got to do in life is take the hammer out and close down the economy. It's so backwards. It is so unhealthy. It is so destructive to the human spirit, to our economies, to our health. How do you get these people out of our lives now?
Well, let me say this, and let me get into this question a little bit, because the one part in here, I hear this person, you know, very, very active person.
Right.
Okay, and we all should find some sort of activity like this person has had in the past, and it really concerns me, because this is a wonderful individual, and they're not out playing tennis and doing those kind of things. And I can understand, or I guess I say, you know, if you have concerns and you're getting a weekly infusion of something, you know, I could see that.
Yeah, well,
but at the same time, it's really concerning to me that this person hasn't gone out and enjoyed their life.
What they lost a year of life. The patient I said I saw this week that was very similar to that lived in Florida in what do you call it? Not assisted living, but a senior community. Okay, where people are at the over age 50, and it was in a single building. And he and his wife got worried about the COVID got into that building, and they came up here to their house, which apparently it must be a big house because it's gated and they got all sorts of stuff out here on Alaska Road someplace. And he goes to Moffitt Cancer Center. We were talking about that earlier today. And so they told him he could come over here and see me and do whatever he needs to do. He just needs to be followed. But the point was that a lot of these people in urban communities, I know in New York, they've piled out of New York and gone to Florida and Texas like crazy. I told you last week about somebody in DeKalb County who rented a place in Florida for 18 months so their kids could go back to school. But this is disrupting where people live and the way they live their life. And that's what bothers me about this particular case here, is this woman is getting absolute perfect care where she was. And she was playing tennis. And the virus scared her and her husband. The doctor didn't tell her to come up here, but they got so worried about it that they came up here. Beautiful place to come, and they came up here and they've locked themselves in for a year. I want them to get out, and then I think the best way for her to get out is to go on and let her take the vaccine, because she's worried about that because of something she saw on the internet. And yes, she could go play tennis when she came up here, because that's going to be outdoors. You ain't going to play in a day like today. Going to be plenty of sunshine out there playing tennis. And so she really has constricted her life more than she needed to do. And let's get her back to work.
Are you a famous guy that said ditto? Ditto.
Ditto, right? You know, let me say this before we move to the second one, because these are two doctors that we thank every week for coming and talking to you. I'm not a doctor. I don't even play one on TV. Okay, but saying that is, please get out and enjoy your life and ask the doc these questions. I won't mention where I was at last night, but I want to put this into this question. So I go to high school basketball in a neighboring state. Well, it's not in Georgia, neighboring state, okay? So, first of all, there's 10 kids on the basketball court. And between the two teams, 6 are wearing a mask and 4 are not. On any given time, half the kids on the court have a mask on while they're playing and half do not. So I went to somebody, I said, okay, what's up? I said, you got 4 or 5 kids, 2 and 3 on each team, that are playing with a mask. A couple kids are not. They said, you go to the doctor, all you do is go to the doctor, get an excuse saying for some reason you can't wear the mask and you don't have to.
So come to me. I'll help them get out of that mess. That's absurd. You should not be exercising. You should not be doing aerobic exercise.
But I watched kids.
Wow.
I watched kids, and I watched a young man coming up the court, and young ladies. It was 2 games, girls and boys, and I watched these young people coming up the court, and they're dribbling the ball. And in basketball, you're going to set up the play, and I watched somebody pull the mask down, and
survey so you can see.
Yeah, and set up the play, and then I'm like, what purpose is this at all?
But if any of them were wearing glasses, they were really in trouble.
But you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I read this question, and I'm thinking, what did we do?
Well,
I don't want to get
I'm
stuck
hoping
on
that
that,
more
but
and
when
more-
I
no,
read this question,
this is not getting stuck, because we're trying to undo something that's terrible out there. And I should be proper with our host and our sponsor. Anything I say is of my opinion. I'm not representing the Cancer Institute or the research thing or Northside when I make these medical statements. But I'll tell you a personal thing that happened last week, and I'm not going to disclose the person that did to. But I lost a husband. I've been seeing this couple for over 20 years. And the husband passed away, and his wife was in the lobby to get some testing done. First time I've seen her since he passed away. And she's sitting out dutifully wearing a mask in the lobby. Her husband died of COVID. And I went out and I said, Joyce, stand up. I don't wear a mask because I'm vaccinated now, and give me a hug. And she reluctantly stood up, and I gave her a big old bear hug, and I said, I'm so sorry, and I'm so glad you're in, and I know this has got to be really hard. Really hard. It's just so absolutely, completely permanent. And we talked a little bit. But, I wanted her to know I'm not afraid. And she needs people hugging on her. And
Yep.
she needs her friends to be with her. And maybe I was being reckless. I don't think at all I'm being reckless. But I think that was more important than this fear of the virus. Way more important. I've done everything I can to take care of myself around this virus. And I'm trying to be a good physician, and that's part of my therapy, is to care about somebody.
All right.
I get it, and you're discussing the emotional side and what we need on a daily basis for balance.
Sure.
And this lady in this question has missed that for a year, is my thought, right?
Got it.
All right,
You
number
ready?
2.
All right. Now, this is a primary care question here, sort of. My wife had her kidney removed 3 years ago for cancer. It has not come back. She gets checked by her urologist every 6 months. Her family doctor says she has anemia now, probably from her kidneys. Referred her to a specialist who checked her iron and says she needed iron before he could give her the Lance Armstrong shots. Remember, we talk about those a lot.
Yes, we have.
He also said she needs to see a GI for scopes. She's never had a scope. What do you think? Now, this is a pretty simple question, but it's got some complexity to it. Pick up that first one over there, Emily. If you were going to take out a kidney of somebody, this does not have an age, but I'm going to say from listening to this woman is probably in her 50s or 60s. If you're going to take out a kidney, right away you're going to cut your kidney function by 50%, right?
Exactly.
That other kidney is going to do some recovery. But if you take a look at how many patients the incidence of kidney failure after taking out your whole kidney or part of a kidney, which is that's all about. Pull it back down, Emily. Everybody that loses a kidney is going to have some degree of chronic kidney failure. Now, I'm 81 years old. I've got some kidney failure, but I've got both my kidneys. So kidney failure, when it gets to a certain point, begins to block your making of red blood cells, and that is the place the Lance Armstrong shot was originally given for. Low blood count related to chronic inflammation, rheumatoid arthritis, or kidney disease, not cancer. Well, when you have a block in that thing with your kidneys, you should have too much iron, not too little iron. So we got to show that next one there. So when you get to the point where you've got too little, so this in kidney failure, you can have. This tells you how you get your bone marrow fails to work, and then it blocks. You can pull that one down. It blocks or inhibits erythropoiesis, which makes you bring in more iron. So when that doctor said her iron was low, he'd expect it to be high. So now Ray's just got a guy in his office who's anemic and has a low iron.
He's got two problems.
He's got two problems. Okay, show the next one. You cannot become iron deficient in the United States without bleeding. It essentially can't happen unless you're a real obligate vegetarian, and even most of them can't become iron deficient. So you are bleeding. All right, Emily, pull that down. If Emily is iron deficient, she's a young woman, it's probably related to menstrual cycles. If she's an older woman and has had 3 kids, it's menstrual cycles plus the kids. But in postmenopausal women or in men, it generally is going to be a blood loss from the gastrointestinal tract. You haven't been shot, stabbed, or something, and therefore the only way to do it is you got to look in the stomach, you got to look in the colon. And lastly, Medicare and insurance won't let you give Lance Armstrong shots unless your blood iron level is normal. So nobody who ever gets a Lance Armstrong shot for any diagnosis can do so without normal iron studies. And that happens to be the way that primary care physicians generally save somebody's life when they're iron deficient, by making them go get scoped and find colon cancer or something in the stomach or esophagus that caused it. You're going to give them the iron, but then you're going to take care of their colon cancer. So they're doing the right thing. Make her get the scopes, let her get the iron, and that'll fix her kidneys.
I love that we're using lay terms, getting scoped. I just call it the big black tube. But, restating what Bill just said in a little bit different terms, that the person has 2 different systems going on here. Their kidneys, which produce this hormone, which we replace, which we're calling the Lance Armstrong drug, the erythropoietin, it stimulates the bone marrow to make more blood. When you lose a kidney or have injured kidneys, you have less of that erythropoietin being made, and therefore you have less stimulation to the bone marrow. The bone marrow needs iron. Every heme molecule has an iron in the middle of it. It has to have that iron in order to make those cars that carry that oxygen. So there's a double whammy going on here. There's not enough erythropoietin probably from the renal damage, and there's not enough iron to be making the cars. So Bill's absolutely right.
So where'd the iron go? That's the question.
Where's that iron going?
Where'd the iron go? That lady bled somewhere.
Yeah, she's got a leak in her oil pan.
Leak in the oil pan. All right.
Okay.
All right, now we'll hear Mama's question before we get into the news here.
All right, wait a minute. Well, first of all, I want to thank Georgia Cancer Specialists and Northside Hospital for this segment. And now I pulled up a little information here, and as you said, this first question, somebody had been looking a little too much at the internet. So now last week, my mother had a question, and she thinks somebody she knows should be on a diet.
No.
Don't you jump in this too fast.
No. She finally got my letter.
She got it.
Interestingly, that's the second. The second thing on the news of the week is going to come to this question. Go ahead.
So, my mom said, ask the doc what they think of this Golo pill, this Golo diet pill.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know.
Let me.
Maybe she's been on the internet.
She's been on television.
Oh, television?
It's a TV ad. All right.
Okay.
First of all,
I don't know. She knows somebody she thinks should be on the diet.
First of all, this is kind of easy. You've got to earn money to spend it, right? So this is a pure calories in, calories out business. Nobody in Auschwitz or Buchenwald got out fat, right? Those are Nazi concentration camps for you young people over there. So it's calories in versus calories out. The first thing on the news, the medical news, was that part about the kids and not getting primary care and stuff. We'll come back to. But the second one is, why do high protein diets work in weight control when most other things do not? And the answer was people aren't eating a bunch of carbohydrates when they're on a high protein diet. So just about every kind of diet that you see, if you talk about the ones you get off the TV, the Nutrisystems and all the rest of that, if you look at the composition of the meals, they're calorie restricted, but most of the carbohydrates are coming from the carrots and the peas and not coming from the bread and the cake. And they are basically, you got to get a gram protein per kilogram body weight every day or you're in bad trouble. So that GOLO thing it says when used with a program of, look at it, when used with a program of exercise and nutritionally appropriate diet. Look at that diet you got there. Go back and look at that. That's salmon. Isn't that a piece of salmon?
It's all meat.
I think that's a piece of salmon. Yeah, look at that piece of salmon and broccoli. I mean, you don't have to have the GOLO pill if you're eating like that, do you?
I don't know. Hey, Mom asked the question, and when Mom asks, I have to ask the question.
Well, I need to jump on Bill real quick because we're not allowed to make political statements on here. And there he went saying that you have to earn money before you spend it now.
Oh, yeah.
That
was a
that's
mistake.
a whole party that really hates that. So. Ditto. I mean, we talk many times about the multi-billion-dollar industry that the diet world is, and it's
diet supplements.
You got to earn more calories than you eat. And
well, see, here's the problem. Here's the problem. I can explain it. Now, Mom, thank you for the question, and I know you know somebody you think should be on a diet. But now here's what I struggle with. Is there's doctors I know that they prescribe medication that says take with a meal.
Yeah, okay, it's my
I
fault.
got you.
Yeah, damn.
So I just say it.
It's a conspiracy. It's a pharmaceutical conspiracy.
Sorry,
okay,
I'm just saying.
No, that's busted.
You're not very funny. Ray's funny. Ray was really funny.
All right,
I got to tell you, that was like Scott McCloud funny there.
Okay.
That was like Larry the Cable Guy funny there. I got to tell you.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to medical news here. The first one, and there are 10 different medical news sites. Within the top two, I guess for some reason it's almost like the Democratic talking points. Everybody has the same thing on the same little phrase, Anyway, coming at it from different directions. One of them was focusing on kids and preschool physicals that they're not getting, so that nobody talks to them about. They don't check their eyes, they don't check them for scoliosis, and the doctor doesn't talk to them about their shots. Obviously, the dental lobby is really worried, and so they're in there about the kids not getting their dental checkups and nobody else getting their dental checkups. I think various ones of these professional groups have probably pushed this forward, but it's really, really, really important. Cancer diagnosis is going down. 2 days ago, they published the life expectancy figures for Americans. Remember, it went down 1 year.
Mm-hmm. That's
every year for the last 50 years, it's gone up by a month, a week, a day, half a year. Going down a full year is a huge, huge thing. A lot of it, people died from COVID. A lot of it, people committed suicide. But, like we've said before, they're not getting colonoscopies, they're not going to their doctor and getting their diabetes treated, and not getting mammograms. Period. Paragraph. In the report. So the second thing was about the diet, and you already brought that one up.
When you bring that up, we talked earlier, and we talk about kids, and I want to stay focused here because this is Ask the Doc. And we talk about kids and getting back in school, and we've talked about that with COVID and safety and keeping the desks clean and mask and everything. But what gets left out of the conversation is, just like you said, I'm going to call it 1970-something, all right? But we had a mobile dentist unit come to the school, okay? and we all got a checkup, just a brief little dental checkup. They talked to us about, hygiene, brushing your teeth, things like that. You went home with a little toothbrush, a little toothpaste, and a little note to your mom and dad. Billy has a cavity, or we recommend this follow-up or whatever. So much of that the kids are missing.
Well, do you remember when
am I correct?
You remember when they took the boys into the gym and they put them in their shorts and then they all stood up and touched the ground and some orthopedic nurse or pediatrician looked at their back? Was their back
a
straight?
scoliosis test.
Scoliosis test.
I get it.
Yeah,
So-
but how simple is that?
Right. I'm really, one of the things I love.
You know
to
what
try
I'm
to do-
saying.
Oh yeah. One of the things
He's
I love
too
to
young
do
to
is
remember that.
to try to really keep simplifying things and keep making it easy to understand. Our culture, our society, my profession has done this incredible thing of increasing treatments, increasing access to treatments, increasing protocols of how to get things screened for and identified. I mean, the advancements, this all hits on Bill's point of our life expectancy going down. Okay, that's a complete indictment of what we've gone through in the last year. Complete indictment. Okay, because here it is in a country with incredible science and medicine and all kinds of stuff that's increasing the longevity, not only the longevity, but the quality of life for people. Okay, and we've lost ground because of this fear-based treatment. Okay, it's simple now. I keep talking about, well, I wish they had changed their therapy. So let's go back to the basics, and we've been saying this all along. Identify if you're at high risk for COVID. Take the precautions that you have now learned and that your doctor can help you with. Everyone else, go about your life. Go about your life. Celebrate life. Get back out on the street. Get back to work. Go out on vacation. Do all that you need to do. Though that doesn't just mean that the people who are at risk should just be careless. They need to be smart about this. But everyone else needs to get back to life.
Let me give you something. I use this forever. When they started Social Security, the average woman lived to 62, the average man lived to 57. Before this, the average woman was now living to 86, and the average man was living to 80 or 81. Now that's a 20-year improvement in survival, or up to 30-year improvement in survival in about the last 50 years. Why? Smallpox vaccinations, polio shots, all these things that used to kill people. So don't be afraid of taking a flu shot. Don't be afraid of taking vaccines, and treatments have made this happen. Diet, exercise, and tests have made this happen. And to have all this anti-vaccine hoopla when it's polio shots and smallpox vaccinations and things that have helped extend our life, to me doesn't make any sense.
One final thing for me, we're seeing numbers decline in hospitalizations. We're seeing.
Oh yeah, I got that for you right here. Wait a minute.
You have that? Okay.
Okay, the number of cases.
Cover that for us
the
today.
number of cases in the United States per week fell by 44% in the last 2 weeks. Cases, 44%. That's pretty much heads and tails when you flip a coin. Deaths are down 39% in the last 14 days, and hospitalizations are down 30% in the last 14 days. Those are all going in the right direction. Now, the fearmonger people were out there saying, well, it's going to turn right back and go up because South African strain and English strain and everything else are going to come in here, and they are. The vaccine is going to be effective in helping mitigate that, and the same thing, keep the fine china taken care of. That thing's not going to be any different about being on a golf course or playing tennis than the old one, and quit trying to scare people. Yes, keep on doing what we're doing, but don't make everybody panic and open the schools next September instead of opening them tomorrow. Our schools are open up here, praise the Lord.
Wrap this up.
Well, I want to get back to normal. I haven't told a joke in months.
Oh, good. Tell a joke.
So this couple checked into the hotel. I'm going to go away for this weekend, but they checked into a tall hotel, and they were on the 5th floor. And at 10 o'clock, the lady calls down to the front desk person. She said, so I've got a very upset husband up here. He's very distraught, and he's threatening to jump out the window. And the guy at the front desk said, ma'am, that's a personal problem. I can't help you with your personal problem. I'm the only person in the hotel at the front desk here. Being the maintenance guy, we're all that's here. That's a personal problem. You're going to have to deal with that. She says, I would not call you about a personal problem. I can take care of my own personal problem. This is a maintenance problem. I can't get the damn window open.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
That's that guy getting stir crazy up there in the mountains.
Okay.
Donate blood.
All right.
So
Donate
that's
blood, get
my
your shot.
thing is you put that in the box of that's getting back to normal. You told a joke. Okay, folks.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Get your COVID shot and donate blood.
Yes, get the vaccine.
Go see your primary care doctor.
Georgia Cancer Specialist affiliated with Northside Hospital. Thank you so much for this segment. Thank you for your questions out there every week for Dr. Whaley. Don't forget, you can send those to info, I-N-F-O, at FetcherNews.com. You can find us on social media. Ask the Doc, Fetcher News, on social media, FYN TV. And you can also find this segment if you want to share it with friends. Go to FYNTV.com. Click on Ask the Doc. All the segments are there. Also get some information about Northside Hospital. Get some information about Dr. Whaley. It's right there on FYNTV.com. Ask the Doc, and our YouTube channel, FYNTV, Fetcher News playlist, Ask the Doc. So appreciate you guys. You got to get to work.
Yeah.
You're not late for work, are you?
No, I'm all right.
Okay. Well, you maybe deserve to be late every once in a while if you want to. Folks, we'll be right back after these messages with the All-Star Political Panel.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Do you feel like healthcare has become too impersonal?
3 times an hour, I'll get you in, I'll get you out.
At Lifetime Medical Center, you're more than a number. We get to know you, not just your medical issues. Dr. Alana Kent is board certified in family practice and offers same-day appointments. She and her staff treat conditions from minor to chronic issues. Lifetime Medical Center, convenient to Jasper and Blue Ridge.
This may sting a little.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
It's been 4 generations of family ownership, tens of thousands of customers, and more Chevys than we'd ever be able to count. And more than 60 years later, when we say Days gets it done, we still mean it. With the North Georgia Mountains lowest Chevy prices, a huge selection, and outstanding customer care. See Days Chevrolet in Jasper, and let's get it done.
Days Chevrolet, Days gets it done.
Find new roads.
Days Chevrolet, Days gets it done.
North Georgia is truck country, and nobody discounts Chevy trucks like Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Now save $8,000 off new Silverado crew cabs, or save $5,700 on the all-new body-style Equinox. Every Chevy truck and SUV discounted big. See Days Chevrolet in Jasper, the low-price leader in truck country.
Days Chevrolet, Days gets it done.
Find new roads.
Hey folks, we're back. I'm your host BKP, and we're at Circuit World in Blue Ridge. A little cold out there this morning.
Frost on the pumpkin.
Yes, it's time for the All-Star Political Panel. Joanne can't be with us today. She'll be back next week. Bruce, Rick, how you guys doing?
Good. How about you?
How about you?
I can't complain.
How was the basketball last night in Murphy?
It was really good. I enjoyed it. I will say this. Murphy has the old gymnasium, okay?
Old school.
I mean,
rafters, exposed rafters.
It's the old gym. Okay?
They filmed the old basketball movies there.
That's right.
I thought he asked me how the game was. I was going to try. You want to try this again?
I don't care.
Okay, so anyhow. But no, anyhow, the old, no, you're right. The old movies, because you hit a home run, because wait till I'm about to say this. So I go, it's great. I enjoyed it, but it was like stepping back in time. And at one moment, I was wondering who would have the flubber. Did you get that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Huh? Sorry.
Yeah.
You know,
it went over just like the name sounds.
Was it two all-white teams too, or was there some diversity?
No. Bruce, please. Please. That was out of line.
Oh, come on.
Yes.
Well, he's thinking about Indiana.
I'm thinking of the old movie.
There was
thinking about
diversity.
the Hoosiers.
There was some diversity. No, I enjoyed it. And I'll tell you what, I love rivalry.
Trying to bail you out here.
I love rivalry because it was Robbinsville and Murphy. And if you don't know the area, you wouldn't understand. But it's a real rivalry. So it was a lot of fun.
Who won?
Robbinsville won the first one, the girls, which made them the region champs, right? The conference champs. Robbinsville won the conference champ. So the girls won, and then the boys, Murphy boys, won the second one. So it was
let me better understand this. So there was an actual girls team and an actual boys team. There wasn't any crossover.
I tell you, you guys,
we're just trying to be socially and politically correct.
That brings up something.
You know, the cancel culture and the Title IX.
Okay, what I could tell.
Okay,
from the best of my ability last night. Emily was there. She may have seen something I didn't see.
Short of it.
What I'm saying is, I'm thinking it was an all-girls
right,
basketball
gotcha.
team and all guys.
Just
That's what
trying
I'm
to
thinking.
establish that. That's
Yes,
all.
Bruce, what do you have?
The 2019 champion in women's hurdles, finished first in 2019, is CC Telfer. Okay, CC
Stands for
changed her name in 2018 because before that he was Craig Telfer. And he ranked 200th in the men's hurdles in 2016, 390th in 2017, but he won the women's.
A name change in a sports bra, and he goes to number one.
Yeah. You
How did we get off on this
I
tangent?
don't know. You said how was the game
Yeah.
last night? I enjoyed
Did you get your
it.
question answered about Golo?
Yes.
Was
I
that
got it.
disguised on your mom's name? Was that really your question?
No, that wasn't.
Oh, okay. I
Hey,
just
don't
wondered.
push. Don't push.
Mom did come in.
Okay. Hey, easy. All right. So, we've got a lot going on. Where do you want to start? Let's start here because I talked to you yesterday. I wish Joe would have been able to be with us, but first of all, a giant in the conservative media rush. Was it Wednesday? Today's Friday, Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, Wednesday. We got the announcement from his wife Wednesday morning that he had finally passed due to lung cancer. At noon, she came on and shared it with everybody. I asked you, I did a tribute yesterday that I really enjoyed. And I want to thank you out there. I got so many messages, and I appreciate that, about the tribute. You really enjoyed it. And what I liked is, after I did the tribute, people were sending me their thoughts and their memories, and it was really great. You want to share something, or you have comments this morning? I notice you're wearing your EIB.
Yes, I've got my EIB shirt on. Rush sent that to me personally for Christmas one year.
Yeah. For $29.95.
Yeah.
And you joined El Rush Pose.
Oh no, I've been a member of that for a long time.
Go ahead.
That qualified me for a super discount on this.
A no gold microphone.
Yeah. Do you think it would be more appropriate if we saved that to the end?
Okay. We'll go
Is
there.
that okay?
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's
But we
a-
got winners and losers. So I don't have any winners
we can
and
do
losers.
winners and losers right after that. But let's just.
Okay, we'll go there. I like it. Let's move that.
I thought we ought to talk about maybe
our-
planning a trip to Cancun.
Let's move that out of our stack of stuff. But come on, I know we'll save it to the end, but come on. Barack the Magic Negro,
Let me
you got to
tell you.
say that now.
I
will move it to the end, I promise. But
Barack the Magic Negro.
don't do
That
it.
was one of the
Save it to
best.
the end.
That was one of the best parodies that Rush ever did. It was a parody, and you know, people, the media just went crazy when that came out. But what they don't realize is that stemmed from a 2007 LA Times article, a column that was written, and they referred to Barack as the magic, quote unquote, the Magic Negro.
Right, exactly.
So what happened was Shanklin and the boys got together, you know, working for Rush, and they made a parody of Al Sharpton singing to the tune of Puff the Magic Dragon, right?
Yes.
Barack the Magic Negro. Okay.
Save it to the end.
Yeah, you get the point.
I had to.
And he couldn't figure out why all these white people liked Barack, but they didn't like Al. I mean, it was brilliant. But, you know, the media pushed on the fact that that's racist. He didn't start it.
It came right from an
It
article.
came right from the LA Times, folks.
Okay. Moving right along. I did that. It's my fault. Moving right along. I do think we ought to grab the next flight for Cancun.
I'm telling you, get the family
Cancun.
Outta here.
Hey.
next plane out of Houston.
Wow. All right. So what say you? Ted Cruz, the wife, the Childens.
Chillin'?
Yeah, they've headed down to Cancun. Cruz gets down there, turns around, comes back, and the media is
Checked into the Ritz-Carlton at $309 a night, I might add.
No, $329.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was
yeah,
$329.
Oh, he didn't get
Not
the
three.
senior discount.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
He's prepped well.
What say you? I mean,
horrible optics.
Yeah, I mean, he made a bad timing choice. There's no question about it. But he's not going to resign. They're not going to force him out. I mean, it's so much fury and lather about nothing.
The biggest problem was
He should say, "Fine, I'll retire I'll resign when Maxine Waters resigns." That ain't happening.
the biggest problem that they got with that Cruz has got is he's been one of the real vocal senators. That when something happens, when somebody leaves their state, when they have some kind of a crisis, he's the first to jump on the bandwagon and go, you've got to be back with your constituents. So he just made a real bad decision.
The media. I listened to Morning Joe and Minka this morning, and they enjoyed a good full 30 minutes on it, and all of the media is just going off the rails because he went to Cancun. He is, for those of you, I think you all know, he's a senator from Texas. Millions this week, and it's going down on a daily basis, but millions have been without power. Texas has really gotten hit hard, and I want to talk about the power grid there. I want to go right into Texas and get both of your take
get my coat
on
get the door open
on the power grid and what's happened there this week. But Ted Cruz, if you're going to go to the microphone, and this is where I'm with you, and you're going to talk about while people are suffering, Barack's playing pool, or so. If you're going to do that, when your state, because if you're from Florida, when you have a natural disaster or whatever, that's when you put on. It's all optics, but that's when you put on the camo pants and the FEMA hat and the FEMA jacket, and you go to every press conference and you stand next to the governor, whatever. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it is optics, but you do it,
Yeah.
So,
right.
so.
But 46 minutes devoted to Ted Cruz and not 1 minute devoted to Cuomo. Cuomo had people dying.
Who is that? Pronounce it for him real slow.
It's like a Q. Cuomo. Quotient. Cuomo.
Like a Mario Cuomo.
Like Mario de Pius.
Right. And then Andrew
Cuomo.
And then you have
Chris.
Fredo.
Chris
He's
Cuomo.
on CNN.
Yeah.
Right?
Chris.
Yeah.
Yes.
But now, he writes a book during a crisis where he's got a lot of people dying.
You remember when Cuomo? I'm trying. I'm working on it. You remember you remember when Cuomo was the hero? Remember he was the hero?
Oh,
They
yeah.
were even talks about replacing Biden at the convention with
Sure.
him, and how and every day they were just the
accolades were.
Yes, every day it was like, wow, this man is so amazing. If Trump could handle a crisis like him. So let's say this: why the turn on him? Why do you think the turn on him? Now, my hat's off.
This is
I
an
think I said
arrogant
it last
slug.
week. I think I said it last week on the show, but Janice Dean did not let this go. But I will say, why the Assemblyman Kim, I think is his name.
Well, he was.
Why the turn on them?
He was bullied. Now, I mean, they're going after him from a bully standpoint, and of course, De Blasio gets right on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
Don't even throw him under the bus. He's already under. Just back over him a couple of times.
You think they've been wanting to get rid of the Cuomo dynasty in New York for a while?
Well, I mean,
and this has opened the door because they have controlled New York for a long time.
But like the Democratic Party, there's factions, and he was, I think, part of a faction that just didn't have the horsepower.
What did he
People
do
don't
wrong?
like him. Well, he's so edgy and he's arrogant and he's a bully.
Okay, but I'm still wondering what he did wrong because that's a Democrat. I mean, he's edgy, arrogant, a bully. I mean, I get what you're saying, but
compared to Barack or to Joe, I mean, they're
Democrats
Mr.
don't
Soft Cell.
They don't eat themselves. They don't take themselves down. No, they don't. When a Democrat takes themselves down, I don't know. I could sit here today and say I don't know, but there's something that I'm not getting here in New. You understand what I'm saying?
Do you think the undercurrent is also because of the description that Bruce just talked about? There's so many people leaving the state of New York. I mean, it's a disaster there.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And people question whether it'll ever rebound again.
I get
when you get the New York Stock Exchange threatening to move to Texas. I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah, but in reality, that's not all Cuomo's. I mean, that's been building up for decades.
Yeah, but the shutdown here, the shutdown's bad because I will tell you this. Now, I don't want to just say the New York Stock Exchange, but, you have Connecticut, you have New York, and then you have Connecticut and New Jersey.
Yeah.
And the Connecticut and New Jersey, bedroom communities or whatever you want to say, but still yet, that New York Stock Exchange, that powerhouse of that economy in New York has been a big driver in Connecticut and New Jersey for years. So it is really what has happened to New York, especially New York City. To me, it's devastating on the people there and what they've done to that.
We've talked several times on the show about the dynamics of COVID-19 and what we are going to see in the future. One of those things was, excuse me, one of the results of all of that was the fact that companies figured out that people can work from home a whole lot cheaper. So consequently, if you've got all of these people that used to go into New York, come back to the bedroom communities, if they're not going in there, they're not having to go to the restaurants and eat, which is a continuing domino effect as to the decline of that economy. Because you've got all these millions of people coming in every day, used to be that way, and now all of a sudden there's maybe a third of them coming in?
Yeah, and what's it called also? The New York, New Jersey Transit Authority? That's got to be mega broke.
It's a ghost
all
town.
the transport.
It's a
aspects.
ghost town.
Well, what I'm saying is
all the transport.
Is your ports, your subways, your tunnels, your bridges. I'm not saying nobody's crossing, but just like you said, if that's all taking a decline, buses. You're not paying to ride the bus.
Taxi, Uber, it just ripples through the economy.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the dominoes, it's just brutal. I mean, they're going like that right now.
Yep.
So what ends up happening with Cuomo?
Quotient.
All right, status quo. Cuomo. Okay, whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah.
What happens to him?
Perfect world, he resigns.
Yeah.
You think he resigns?
I do.
I do. Wow.
I think there's going to be enough pressure. I mean, when the FBI and the DOJ is involved now, and they're investigating what really happened at the nursing home level.
I just think it's interesting that we couldn't have found this out in, let's say, June, July, August, September. I just find it interesting because every day there seems to be a new Biden miracle. It's a Biden miracle.
He's running out, though. I think, he's doing so much so fast because he knows he's not going to even make the first term. So I think he's trying to, get stuff out before he just takes a powder.
The quote that Cuomo will never live down is the one where he sat there, and with the ultimate arrogance, he said, "Hey, they died. What's the difference where they died? They're going to die anyway."
Yeah.
That just resonated, I think, with both sides of the aisle.
What difference does it make? We had 4 dead Americans.
And exactly. There's another one we heard that same thing from.
Okay.
What
she's
difference
still
does it
paying
make
the
now?
price.
Yeah.
All right, so from New York to where you want to go? You want to go Mitch McConnell? Where you want to go next?
Let's go to Texas. You wanted to go back to Texas.
The power grid. The power grid in Texas. What happened? What's your take? What happened in Texas this past week?
Well,
I mean, it's cold. No, I'm not making light of it.
Emily,
it's
can
cold.
we throw that picture up?
What picture you got?
I got a great picture. Can you see it on there?
No, I can't see it.
Okay, I'll pass it around.
All right.
Just an example. What's going on there?
Bruce, let's see.
Oh, my.
How'd you like to live in that place?
That's tough sledding and no snow.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what the folks are looking at out there.
It's
a pretty ice sculpture right in your living room, your kitchen. What's going on down there? My take on it after reading a bunch of stuff, and I kept reading stuff because I watched The Five, and Juan kept saying, it's all because of the fossil fuel. It's not because wind turbines. Typically, in Texas, they bring the megawatt level down in the winter to 67,000 megawatts. In the summer, they ramp up to 86,000 megawatts required to keep the energy moving, keep the blackouts from occurring, okay?
Right.
And it's higher in the summer because air conditioners draw more.
Exactly. So what happens, once every 12 years we get an anomaly like what's going on down there. They didn't prepare for it. They could have winterized all that stuff, and they visited this thing in 2011, and the recommendation was to winterize some of the power plants. Instead, they draw them down, and then they go into a maintenance mode. This is when they do their maintenance.
Yeah.
At the nuclear plants and at the coal-fired plants. They do their maintenance in the wintertime because the demand is not high enough. They can shut part of it down. So what happens, they lost 46,000 megawatts went offline, 20,000 of which came from the turbines, which the criticism is they were cheap in the way they set them up. They didn't want to pay for the winterizing kit. You get a little winterizing kit for your giant turbine, and it doesn't freeze up. The other thing that happened, and maybe you can speak to this, is that it got so cold that the natural gas would not flow.
Yeah, but again, the natural gas flowing is a function of the pumps and the pressure and things like that. So if the pumps aren't working, you're not going to push anything down a pipe.
Yeah, if you don't have electricity to run the pumps, then
yeah, bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah, bada bing, bada boom. So
the other thing is the grid operators have it set up so they are just in Texas. They can't plug in across the border from New Mexico or from Oklahoma. They're an island unto themselves, so they can't get any power brought in from surrounding states.
So consequently, there literally became a cottage industry where they were buying and selling megawatts, and the price, which is normally, I can't remember the number, but it went from like $2,000 a megawatt to $9,000 a megawatt to purchase.
Yeah.
To bring it.
Something along those lines.
Yeah, so, now they're investigating, did anybody take advantage of that whole thing? Are you glad you asked the question? We do our homework on this thing.
That's why I was waiting.
But, of course, the fallout's going to be, afterwards, everyone's going to be putting things back together. Then they're going to get their electricity bill. And the electricity bill to the consumer is going to be up here.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Because they had to, go to auction for power.
That's exactly right. Yeah, it went to auction. That's what I was trying to get at. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. So when we hear, and I want to put this, I want to switch this and put this in a different box. So if somebody's just yelling at the microphone and saying, Green New Deal, or this is the turbines, or this is what happens when you go to wind power, and this is what happens when you go to solar power and fossil fuel, and so break up that where we're hearing maybe some things that are not accurate.
Well, all of those factors contributed, but the left is going to say it's all about the fossil fuel failed. The right is going to say it's because the wind turbines failed. You know what? They're both right. They're both right, but in reality, the long-term planning to make sure that this doesn't happen when they have a weather anomaly is what failed them.
And this is a reality check for the way people are thinking. AOC said if the Green New Deal was in effect, everything would have been hunky-dory. Well, I'm sorry, it's not going to work like that. You have to have a diverse power supply. You have to have some of it winterized, maybe not all of it, because there's a cost to that. Who bears the cost? They push it through to the consumer.
See, in the northern states, excuse me for interrupting, go back to that. The northern states, they do winterize.
I was just getting ready to go there
they
because
winterize up in Minnesota and the Dakotas and all that stuff is winterized. That's why they don't have that. But California has the same thing with the rolling blackouts because their grid is not stable. But go ahead.
Well, I will say this, and you're 100% right. When we say that, in the Northeast, they invest in winterizing their equipment. And also, they invest and prepare for weather events where we don't. For example, you know, we might, right here where we sit, we might, I say, accept being shut in for 3 days, not being able to get out, because we don't see the investment in
The cost
plows.
justification.
Right. We don't see we say, hey, we don't need 9. I mean, you can go in, where I'm from in the Northeast, you can go to one of the local garages. There's, maintenance garages, and you can see really like 9 or 10 of the big trucks and the big monster plows and the real deal salt machines. And it's a major investment. And if you go through.
Yeah, and you use it 4 months of the year.
And you go around the interstates, you see what looks to be like a teepee with roofing shingles, and actually that is to keep the sand in, right?
Or salt.
Or salt, right? Yeah. And you see those kind of investments. Well, right here where we're at, we don't do that because we have minor investments, but we say, all right, in 48 hours it'll thaw out. So when you say winterize, it's like I understand. The wind turbines in the Northeast and other areas, they have heaters. They have heaters, but I could see where Texas says, you know what, we're going to have to just go with the 48 hours till it thaws, because it's every 100 years something like this happens. So
well, it wasn't every 100; it's about every 10. But they still couldn't find the cost justification.
The cost justification.
Yeah, but they haven't had an extended cold thing like this.
Extended.
No,
right.
this was a real.
And the other thing, no one's really talking about.
Am I on the right track there with that?
Yeah, but the other thing is part of the grid. How does the electricity get from the plant to the house? It goes through a wire. Well, those wires are strong, and trees fall down when they get loaded with ice. So you get an ice storm like this, you're going to lose a lot of transmission lines.
That's what's going on in Louisiana.
And that you can't do much about, other than keeping right-of-ways cleared and things like that.
You don't lose in snowstorm. Just a snow, you don't lose the power lines like you do in an ice storm.
Exactly.
Ice storm, they snap.
The trees next to them get loaded up.
We live in an area where a windstorm through the area takes 3 trees down, and it'll shut down a whole road where 100 people live, because it tears the power lines. So snow. So what you're saying, the ice storm.
Yeah,
I can see that, because if you go back all the way, and not to get stuck on the subject, all the way back to the Great Ice Storm of Atlanta, power lines were snapped everywhere because they just snap. Yeah. So you're saying there's...
My daughter-in-law in Baton Rouge was saying the other day, because they got some of the storm down there, she said it was amazing. The trees were down like this with all the ice, and he said they started melting, they came right back up. Some don't. They snap off, they take lines out.
Right.
So, yeah, that's a big part.
So anyhow, so Texas, I get it, and we know what it's like here to have a full week with no power. And I'm not making light of that, because
we had it last year.
Right. You had it happen to him.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
You did too.
Yeah. So
had to pitch a lot of food. I mean,
and we didn't go to Cancun.
No. I would have liked to go to Cancun.
That's right.
Okay, so
I'll worry about when I get back.
So Texas, power grid, Cancun. All right, what next?
We could go to.
How does Trump really feel about Mitch McConnell?
I'll tell you exactly how he feels.
Oh God, this was not set up. Folks.
Mitch is a dour, sullen, and unsmiling political hack.
Somehow I thought you would be ready for that question.
But the odd thing is, they said he did that speech like to cement his position as a minority leader, because he likes being a minority leader and this and that. But can you imagine that he's going to run again in 5 years? I think he's done after this term. Mitch, yeah.
He solidified a lot with that speech. There's a pattern about that turtle. He did the same exact thing in 2010, 11, and 12 when the Tea Party was prevalent. You go back and look at the speeches that he made. We've got 14 senators. We've got, what is it? What's the breakdown? I think there's 34 senators up for re-election in 2022. 14 Democrats and 20 or 22 Republicans.
Oh, okay.
You have a third.
that
You have a
20
third
minute-
of your Senate.
That
The way it's set
Right,
up, with
every
the 6
2 years.
Yeah, every 2 years.
I wrote that
a
down
third of the
somewhere.
Senate. There's 100 senators,
Yeah.
so a third of the Senate is up every 2
I
years.
thought there was more Dems next
14
time.
Democrats and 22 Republicans are
Right. I mean, now that difference can be different,
Yeah,
but there's a
have to.
third of the Senate up every 2 years.
Mitch has made a pattern of doing this, though, and he, like Bruce said, he likes to operate from the minority. He doesn't want to be in the majority. He can make more money. He can skim more from the minority.
Well, I like what Trump said for a couple different reasons. He laid it right out there. Trump, to me, Donald J. Trump's statement on Mitch McConnell, what happened in Georgia, Brian Kemp, Brad Raffensperger, is exactly why the American people like him, is exactly, to me, why the American people said in the beginning, you know what, we've been waiting for somebody to say it. That's, to me, it's the reason I like the guy, because Mitch McConnell, the fact is, we know the truth on him, his wife's family, and their ties to the Chinese. We know that. Trump put it out there in black and white.
Yeah.
Put it out there. He also, it's very clear that Donald J. Trump is going to be active. He's going to be active in politics. He's going to be active in 2022. Okay? Going to be active in 2022. And he has put it like this. You're in Mitch McConnell's lane or you're in my lane. Real simple. You got a choice. You're in Mitch's lane or my lane.
Follow-up question on your statement.
Go ahead.
Do you think Trump is going to work to develop his own media platform?
You mean like a Parler or a...
Yeah. He said he's done with Twitter.
I don't know. I don't know. I will tell you this. Guessing Trump. Guessing
It's a new
Trump,
game.
right? Yeah. That's exactly the board game. Guess what Trump will do. I understand Trump. And I say that. I'll look at the camera. I understand Donald J. Trump, but to guess him, I'm cautious with that because I'll be the first to admit, just when I think he's going to zig, he zags. Okay, so I'll give him that. So is he going to start his own media group? I've told everybody on my audience throughout the week, let's wait on a daily basis and see what Donald actually does. Let's not get into the guessing game. Let's not, say what he's going to do because Donald will tell you. He will tell you. This past week, he was very clear. He came out. Look at the thousands that lined up on President's Day Monday. And Donald came out
With the motorcade.
With the motorcade, okay? Second, he makes a very clear statement on Mitch McConnell. I did say as soon as the impeachment was over, we would start to see Trump would start coming out. He was waiting for that to be behind him. He would come out. Very bold statement, okay? Yeah. Lindsey Graham, somehow, for some reason, Trump likes Lindsey. He does. For some reason, he likes Lindsey Graham. Now
He cuts him some slack, yeah.
yeah. Well, I make the joke like who was it? Kevin McCarthy. I make the joke that Kevin McCarthy goes down to Mar-a-Lago. Kevin McCarthy runs his mouth on the floor. Next thing you know, Trump says, "Get your rear end down here." So Kevin McCarthy goes to Mar-a-Lago, and I say, what probably happened is he walked in, and Trump probably beat the hell out of him, like, what are you doing getting on the floor talking about me like this and that? And Kevin McCarthy probably looked at him and said, well, why are you so upset with me? Because when Lindsey Graham does it, you don't say anything to him. And he probably looked at him and said, yeah, but we all expect that out of Lindsey. we know Lindsey's going to go do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what, Trump says, Lindsey, I need to see you in Mar-a-Lago. He's on the next plane. Lindsey, I need you to go on TV and say, so I don't know. I'm not saying I'm a Lindsey Graham fan, but will he start his own media? I don't know.
You mentioned Mar-a-Lago. Have you heard the debate down there from the local council? Whether he can live there as a full-time resident?
Can he be a full-time resident?
Yeah, they're pulling his chain on that, so that'll be interesting to see how that comes out.
Trump will be very involved in politics. The ones that voted against him in the Senate, the ones that voted against him, I'm really caught off guard with Ben Sass and Cassidy in Louisiana. That's the one that caught me off guard. Cassidy?
Ben Sass didn't catch me
No,
off
not
guard.
caught off guard. Ben Sass, but Cassidy,
Cassidy was a surprise.
He caught me off guard.
He's taken a lot of grief in Louisiana.
Toomey doesn't catch me off guard. And
Toomey's stepping down.
Yeah, he's
I mean,
not running
there's several of them. Richard Burr is stepping
right. But the ones that ran against that went against him on the Senate, the ones that went against him on the House, the impeachment, there's a clear lane, and you make a major mistake, like Nikki Haley. Okay, I've always had Nikki out here. Okay, thought when she went to the UN and did a couple things, but Nikki Haley, we shouldn't have followed the president. I don't know if it's true or not, but there's a report saying that she wanted a meeting with Trump, and Trump said no.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, it's all over the news.
And I thought when she was, still there, they were on pretty good terms. They left on, or she left on good
Yeah,
terms.
but then she said we shouldn't have followed him.
I know.
We shouldn't have followed him. But Nikki Haley, I had it here this morning. It's on 3 or 4 different websites that Nikki Haley, right up here. Nikki
Yeah,
Haley.
we believe you.
Nikki Haley tried to get a meeting with Trump, but he shot her down.
No.
It's on several. So,
Well, the fact remains that Mitch McConnell stood in the well of the Senate, the well of the Senate, right?
Yeah.
For 20 minutes and tried to destroy the MAGA party.
right.
He wanted to see the MAGA party never again. What's the matter?
No, I'm just looking to see if somebody. Now that we're this way, I don't know if my next guest or somebody's come in.
I'll
so
let you know.
Will you let
I
me
got the
know?
mirror, yeah.
He'll let me know.
Is Beth coming today?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Moving right along.
All right. But he did stand there for 20 minutes, and he made he absolutely, I call it the uniparty. There's no Republicans and Democrats anymore. It's the uniparty.
Right.
Let's just figure out, come on, Schumer, let's just get together and figure out how we're going to work this. I'm going to go on the floor, I'm going to destroy Trump for 20 minutes, destroy the MAGA party, get everybody down and out, and then I'm going to let you have some of these Senate seats, and then I'll be the minority leader again, but you got to come to me to make a deal.
But the other thing about Mitch, though, I mean, like he blows with a wind. I mean, so, he's minority now, and if, they get control of the Senate, he'll be back majority, and
Let me say this.
life
when you
goes
read-
on.
He didn't like it in the majority.
When you
he
read,
might not like it, but I
He
mean,
didn't make as much money. His net worth went down.
when you
Bad investments.
look at Trump's statement, it's very clear. When you ask me if he's going to start his own media group, I don't know. But if you look at Trump's statement this week, he did not say start a new party. Okay, people have been wondering if he's going to start a new party. But he did. But he didn't. I mean, people have been wondering that. So he's really saying, you know what? You go to your Republican Party meetings, get good candidates, and let's support the ones that we, are good candidates and get these others out of the way. Go ahead.
who would inherit his mantle if something happened to him in the next 4 years?
Trump?
Health-wise, yeah.
I'm not for sure. Are you looking right in the Trump orbit? I mean, there's a lot of people talking about Ron DeSantis is a good governor in Florida.
The Trump-denominated wing of the Republican Party, such as it is now.
Well, Josh Hawley stands out in my mind.
I'm
And-
not for
and
sure.
Ron
I'm not for
DeSantis.
sure- Ron DeSantis. I'm not for sure on that. There's a couple. Matt Gaetz is definitely in the running, right?
Absolutely.
He's definitely in the running there. He's done. I'm not for sure if there's any total standout.
Who do you think? You asked the question.
I don't know. The DeSantis, I think, is up there, but I wonder about one of his kids.
No, I'm concerned.
Starting to come in.
I'm glad
Don
you went
Jr.
there. No, I'm concerned, and I will say this: people know how I feel about the President of the United States. If Donald J. Trump is grooming Don Jr., that's where it'll end for me. I'm not on board with Don Jr.
Okay.
He's not the Trump 100-watt light bulb in the family.
Okay.
He's not.
Ivanka?
No.
She's
Ivanka
already
is
took a-
brilliant.
She already took a pass on Florida.
But she's brilliant, but she's liberal. I don't dislike Ivanka, okay? I want to be clear. Don Jr., that box is Don Jr. compares with that box. They're both about that bright. Okay, I'm sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's pointing to a cardboard box.
Yes, I mean I'm serious. I'm not on board
Okay,
with Don
okay.
Jr. Now wait a minute. I'm almost done. Almost, very close. Ivanka's brilliant, but she's very liberal. I'm going to tell you the standout in the family that is Don Jr. I mean, when I say Donald Trump Jr., is Eric. Eric is a bright young man. He doesn't get and Laura, his wife.
Laura.
Laura and Laura.
There's
Depends. It doesn't matter. You understand? Damn it, it doesn't matter.
All right, Cuomo.
Laura.
All right, Cuomo.
Okay. Oh, you're going to get it. Bang, zoom. Anyhow, I think she's going to run in North Carolina. Eric and Laura. Okay?
Laura.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like them. Okay, so there's my answer.
Okay, but my follow-up to... Oh, go
And
ahead.
Tiffany, I don't know what she's
No,
doing.
you follow up. Go.
The follow-up to that is, okay, put the politicians aside, put the Trump family aside. Who else would be out there? Would it be someone like Candace Owens?
Maybe.
Charlie Kirk?
Maybe. I think you're going down the here's what you're going
Someone
down
from
the road.
outside the political
Here's
orbit.
what you're Here's what you're doing that I really like is you're going down the road of the, unexpected or the. It's not Ted Cruz.
No.
Right. It's not Ted Cruz. It's
Someone from outside the political orbit.
right. I think you're on to something there. I think somebody like a Candace Owens steps up, or I think you're 100% on target with if Trump is not in leadership.
The reason I don't think it would ever be either of his two sons is he has always preached that he didn't like the family dynasties,
Yeah, I get it.
like the Bushes and
The Clintons.
and the Clintons, and we keep getting the same retreads.
His daughter-in-law is a bright lady up in North Carolina. I hope she runs in North Carolina.
She was raised in
Yeah.
North Carolina.
Yes,
She
yeah,
could
yeah,
run.
I hope she
could
does.
run for Burr's.
Yes, I hope
Richard
she
Burr's
does.
seat.
Okay, we've got other things, but I don't want to. It's 9:32. We're getting close, so I do want to. If we have another subject that we didn't cover this morning, I want to get that. I do want both of you to get a little time talking about Rush before we.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is that where you want to go?
If you don't have another direct subject that we haven't covered that you
You?
want to get to.
I have, but I mean, I don't know what the time is going to be, so
Do we have a pep this week?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't have as much on Rush as Rick probably does, so let me do
I don't know
mine
that I do,
first.
but
Again, when he started, I was overseas, and I came back and went back, and so I just started listening to him really probably the last 6 or 7 years on a more regular basis. So I personally, some of the stuff that I heard, I don't want to reiterate that, but I did hear something yesterday or the day before on the show about this gal called in, I think in sometime in between 2009 and 2020, and she was an immigrant to the U.S. and became a citizen, and she was a writer, and she did writing, consulting, and stuff like that. And she said when he went through his loss of hearing in 2009 and he got the implants and everything, she said that inspired her so much because at a certain point in her career, she had a medical issue, and I'm not sure what it was. I missed it on the show. And she ended up losing all the fingers on both her hands. And she was a writer. And that was just taken away. And she said what Rush went through with his hearing loss and how he handled that and inspired her immensely. And Rush was just, he was taken aback. I mean, I think he choked up a little bit, it sounded like. And he was just amazed that in his situation inspired her so much. And he kept going, well, can't you dictate? And she went through this thing about dictation's not the same as writing and this, that, and the other thing. But he did then he said, well, I have this great iPad thing that you can do this and this and this to. I'm gonna get you one of those. And it was just segueing, from his commentator role to, his real high interest in tech and things like that. I just thought that was, an amazing sequence, and that's my story.
One of the things, they're doing a kind of a best of right now, They've got the guest hosts on, and they're taking some excerpts from a lot of and some really cool stuff came out. And the one common theme for me that I took from the show is that he was always teaching. He was always teaching, and he'd always have something relevant, something really that you could get a hold of. And the two of the things that stuck out in my mind were, and this is not new, but he made it his own, and that is, it finds, and this related back when he was a DJ, and then he went to the Kansas City Royals, and he hated it. He hated it. So he went to a consultant, and the consultant says, well, "What do you like doing?" "I like radio." If you find his point was, if you find something that you like, you'll never work another day in your life. You understand what I mean?
I do.
You love what you're doing right now.
I do. I enjoy it. Yes, I do.
And you probably wouldn't want to go back to the construction business.
No, I don't.
And so that's a perfect example. Find something that you really like, and not an unpaid hobby, but something that you like. You'll never work another day in your life. The other thing that he said, and I heard this yesterday, and it made so much sense. We waste so much of our time and energy and emotion on worrying about stuff that we can't control. And Rush has always been one to say, don't worry about what you can't control. Worry about what you can control, and put all of that emotion and energy toward what you can control, and you'll continue to be successful. And that's those two threads, weaved or wove its way throughout his entire career, I believe. Mm-hmm. And he's mentored a lot of people along the way in doing that. And again, my parody was going to be, well, the deal. And people were coming out with that, and they were just hammering them. The other parody that I liked is, Hillary for president. 5 million? How can we help you?
Well, the thing I heard in some of the tributes is like they did some gospel song back in the 90s.
Oh, that was
I played that.
He played that.
Oh,
No. Rush is on. The gospel quartet that did "Thank God Rush is On."
Yes.
No.
Remember, I opened the show.
Yeah.
No, that I Ain't Got a Home.
That's the one he's talking about, I think.
I Ain't Got a Home.
A black band.
No.
Yeah, it was a takeoff on the who was it, the quintet.
Oh, you're talking about a parody?
Yeah.
But yes, so I enjoyed and to get out of here because we have our tax tips with Beth Bennett and our pet of the week. So, but before we get out of here, I like how he did mix comedy in his show, because it's like I get up in the morning, I do the show, and I see things in the morning, and I say, you can't make this stuff up.
No.
Yeah.
And the only way I know to approach it, it's funny. I'm sorry, this is where we're at. And I do a lot of that in my show because I got it from Rush. Like, I tell you what, I mean, the guy you call, my sister and I were talking yesterday, you call Biden plugs. Why? Why do you call him plugs? Rush called him plugs.
Yeah.
Who called Mitch McConnell turtle first, right?
Yeah.
Who said Moochel my bell?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Who said that? Who said Chuck Todd?
F. Chuck Todd.
Who said Chuck U. Schumer? I mean, right?
Yeah.
I mean, does it stop? Who did Barney Frank, My Boy Lollipop updates, right? A condom update. I mean, who did that, right?
Yeah,
I
the feminazis.
You call them feminazis, right? I mean,
and made the critics say he was a sexist, racist, misogynistic pig.
Go ahead.
What I was going to say that I forgot is that if you listen to the show a long time, he will several times say, how long have you listened to the show? Well, I listened to the show one day. Well, then you don't even know what's going on. People that only listen one day say, that arrogant SOB, how does he get away? You've got to understand that that's all done tongue in cheek.
Yes.
And that's the humor that you referred to.
Yes.
But you've got to listen to it over a long course of time to get it.
Liberals have a hard time keeping their tongue inside their cheek.
And let me say this, and we'll close because we could go on and on.
Yeah,
you
we got
know,
to talk about guest hosts. My goodness.
Yeah. Indispensable, man.
you could go on, but I will tell you what, in your life, if you could put something on the map, and I could pick out so many things, but you would not know where Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
Been there.
You would not know where Cape Girardeau, Missouri is. Most Americans. But you do because of Rush Limbaugh. And the guy got to, what a memory, because he got to go home. You always think about going home and that biggest moment of returning home. And he was always Rush Limbaugh returning to Cape Girardeau. But this past year, he got to go home and introduce the President of the United States of America to his hometown in Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
Yeah.
And how neat is that?
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
my mom, what happens to the show? This is for you, Mom. Mom says Donald Trump takes the show. Okay, I got my part. My mom wants Donald to take the show. So go ahead.
Are we running out of time? Or
We're out of time. So go ahead. You want to winners and losers really quick?
Okay, my loser. I'll just do a loser. The LA School District cut a third of the police positions in the Unified District and replaced them with climate coaches. Now, it's not climate in the sense of weather. These are trained to implement positive school culture and climate, use of de-escalation strategies to resolve conflict, understand and address implicit bias, and eliminate racial disproportionality in school discipline practices. You can make this stuff up. Climate coach.
Can't make it up.
My winner of the week is Catherine Limbaugh, the way she came out, reached out to the fans. I got two losers quickly. Mark Jones of ESPN, a detractor who ought to be fired, a black commentator who has done nothing but reach out on Twitter and just run Limbaugh into the ground. He needs to be fired, folks. Don't watch ESPN.
Anyway.
The other biggest loser is Mitch McConnell.
Mitch McConnell. Okay, folks, that's it for the All-Star Political Panel. We are going to have tax tips with Beth Bennett and our Pet of the Week. So don't go away. We're far from finished. We got two more segments this morning. Guys, thanks a lot. I enjoyed it. I appreciated it. Right after this, tax tips with Beth Bennett. Stay tuned.
Circuit World has complete queen bedroom packages at amazing prices. Get this queen bed, dresser and mirror, one nightstand, bedding set, and free 32-inch TV, all for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this complete queen bedroom set and sleep in style, also for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. What an incredible deal! Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
New year, new Chevy. Let's get it done at Days Chevrolet in Jasper with huge savings on the Chevy trucks you want, like $8,000 off new Silverado crew cabs, or save over $7,500 off a new Chevy Equinox. Every Chevy truck and SUV discounted big. See Days Chevrolet in Jasper, and let's get it done.
Days Chevrolet. Days gets it done.
Find new roads.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Hey folks, we're back. It's now time for Tax Tips with Beth Bennett, and I'm your host BKP here with Beth from H&R Block. Beth, how are you today?
I'm great, Brian. How are you?
Really good. And we have this week, we have, you want to talk about education tax credits, and just in general, there's credits out there that people don't realize are available.
Absolutely.
And there's two sides of that. You need to know about it in advance if you can to plan for it.
Correct.
And two, you need to go somewhere and have somebody take care of your taxes that knows what credits are available.
That's what we're here for.
So tax credits is one of our major topics this morning. What say you?
What say I? I thought we'd talk about some education tax credits. Now's the time. A lot of the students are just now getting those forms in, and I just want to remind everyone of the credits that you can take, which is, it's not just your tuition. It is your books, supplies, a computer. If you bought a new laptop, that counts. Your parking, any tolls, any just fees, anything to do with your college other than your room and board and your eating, you can take off as a tax credit, and you can get up to $2,500. It's a really big credit. It's very helpful to parents who have, students in school, or if you're paying your own way through school. It's a very beneficial. Don't want you to miss anything. So make sure that you have that form. It's one that we ask, as we sit down with clients each day, that's when we ask them, like, oh yeah, I forgot that. Go get it. It's worth $2,500.
Well, now let's break that down a little bit. So first of all, when we talk about education tax credits, there's up to $2,500 available.
Correct.
And this is important for students, but it's important for parents that have kids in college, that they're paying the bills.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you are taking continuing learning classes, those are eligible also. So you got to keep track. So if you're for your career or whatever, and you're taking further education, and you're taking a couple classes a semester or working towards a degree while you're working, you keep track of that. That's important to you. Your books, driving back and forth, parking passes there, whatever may be your cost. It's important to keep track of that.
You are absolutely correct, Brian. Keep good records. Good records is what will save you lots of money and headaches and audits.
Well, let me say this on tax. Explain for our audience and me also, because it gets confusing. What's a tax credit? Like you when you say a tax credit, what's that come off of? Does that come off your taxes? Does that come off your total earned? I mean, what you owe at the end? Does that come off? What is a tax credit exactly?
That's a good question. Most people don't understand that. So you get tax deductions, right?
I'm on the most.
Yep. So the standard deduction, if you itemize, that is, we call that above the line, which means that's reducing our taxable income.
Okay.
If you take a deduction, that's above the line. That's just reducing your income that gets taxed. If you get a credit, that's below the line. Now I have my taxable income, and I'm going to get some credits that give me actual. So that kind of reduces the tax then, right? Because at this point, it's kind of complicated, Brian. A credit is at the bottom of the tax return. I owe $5,000 in taxes, but I get a $2,500 education credit. Now I owe $2,500, but I had this much withholding. It's just not that simple. But
so when I get it, when you're saying above the line, that's your taxable income. So you start out with a taxable income. Anything that's taken off above the line, could change the amount owed.
It changes the amount taxed. So,
right. It changes it. That's where you come up with a taxable amount.
Correct.
Okay. Then below the line, right? Mm-hmm. Below the line, you then you start applying your credits, because that below the line says this is, now you apply credits, and that could reduce the amount of tax owed.
Perfect. Do you need a job?
No, Actually, I don't think I could do that again. But I got that far. I don't think I could do that again.
It's very confusing for people, and especially with the new 1040 that they simplified and it went to 6 pages instead of 2. It really made it easier.
I almost told something I shouldn't tell. Well, I did take accounting class.
You did?
Yeah, you know why?
Why?
I was a pretty girl sitting right over here. So I'm sorry. In high school, I'm just saying. Yeah, accounting?
Back in our day, it was mostly girls.
So you're taking accounting? So am I? Sorry, wrong direction. I apologize. Let's stay focused. Tax tips with Beth Bennett.
Maybe sleeping with the dogs tonight.
All right. So we talked about education tax credits. What else do we want to talk about?
So now we're going to talk about a deduction, which is the Schedule A. Everyone calls that the long form. And itemizing. And some people still can itemize, Brian. It's not dead and gone. It's just harder to achieve that because they doubled your standard deduction. And so you want to take the one that reduces your income the most, right? And so for a lot of people now, if you've been in your house a long time and now most of your payments going to principal versus interest, you don't have that much mortgage interest. So it's really hard to beat the standard deduction. But if you just bought a house, you've got closing costs, you've got your interest, the bulk of your payment goes to interest now, right? And then depending on the cost of your home, if you bought $100,000 versus a $500,000. So don't just rule out that you can't itemize anymore, because you still can take your medical. It is limited to, you have to have more than 7.5% of your income. But you can take it. If you take a lot of prescriptions and go to doctors on a regular, versus I just get sick and I need to go to the doctor for that. But if you're going on a regular for continuing issues, you can qualify. You might have enough on there. You can still take your mortgage. You can take your state taxes withheld off your paycheck. You can take your property taxes, your charitable contributions. So there's still several things on there that sometimes people might meet by just doing one item. Sometimes people might inherit money or some, for whatever reason, and they donate that just entire amount, and then they meet it just by doing that one thing. So don't rule it out. If you have those forms and you've been paying those things, bring it in and let's put it on there and see. It doesn't hurt to try, because you want to reduce that taxable income as much as possible.
Well, let me just say this. Most of us don't know these answers, and I don't know. I'll just say maybe there's a reason the government doesn't want us to know all these answers, and they can make it very confusing. But that's where I really want to say I recommend seeing Beth Bennett and her team at H&R Block, because they, right now this time of year, we're in February, people are rushing to do their taxes, and that's what you think. I just got to run and do my taxes. But realistically, there's so much out there. Planning to do your taxes year-round could be very beneficial to you.
Absolutely.
Save you on taxes, the amount you pay or the amount you're refunded. What else do you have this morning before we close?
So one of the other things that I haven't talked about yet was part of the CARES Act was that if you withdrew money out of your 401k last year because of COVID,
right,
then the penalty is waived if you're under 55 and a half, and you can spread out that distribution over 3 years. Because a lot of people don't understand, when they take the money out of their 401k, that's taxable. Okay? When you did go with a financial advisor, whoever is managing that account for you, they generally just have you withhold 10%, which is just the penalty, typically, right? But then you have federal and state taxes that could be due on that. And not only that, it increases your income. So it still goes above the line. It becomes taxable income. And so it could raise you from a 10% to a 12, 18, 22, depending how much you take out, which really changes everything on your tax return, because then you could phase out because your income was too high and lose some credits that you got before. So this is a really big deal. It's very beneficial to anyone who might have had to take money out of your 401k because of COVID, you were out of work, or health issues. You get the penalty waived, and you spread that out over 3 years.
Well, that's great news, because I know several people that were cautious about taking money out of their 401k, and then people that had no choice but to meet living expenses in the last year with their 401k, and this year there's no penalty.
Correct.
There's no penalty this year.
And then you divide it. Just say you got 30,000, just to make it easy. Only 10 goes to taxable this year, 10 next year, and 10 the following. And that's a big deal. That could save you 10% in taxes by doing that.
Folks, that's why I recommend Beth Bennett at H&R Block and her team. How do they get in touch with you, Beth?
hrblock.com. We are open every day of the week. We'll come in early or stay late, whatever works for you. Just give us a call.
And I do know this. If you're out there and you have your schedule, they have hours of operation, and your schedule is you're really busy and you can't get in during their normal business hours, call them, because her team, they will set up a time for you. They will make sure that they work with you to get you in on your schedule, not just their business hours. Another thing I want to recommend is they do business taxes all year round, and when you come in, if you have her team do your taxes, they also not just do your taxes, they will also help you put a game plan together for next year.
Correct, even on your personal.
Even on your personal,
Even
that's
on your
right.
personal.
Say next year, while you're doing a tax, you say, next year we recommend this, this, and this, and you can go away. And they're year-round available to answer your questions. You could share tax tips with Beth Bennett from H&R Block with all of your friends. Just go to fyntv.com, click on Tax Tips with Beth Bennett. Share this with your friends. Thank you very much, Beth. I appreciate you. Now, you know I have to get to the pet of the week.
I know.
Did you say hello to the pet?
It's a very happy dog, too. He really likes people.
Happy dog. Right after this. Can't put it any better. Happy dog next. Thank you, Beth. Enjoyed it.
Circuit World has complete queen bedroom packages at amazing prices. Get this queen bed, dresser and mirror, one nightstand, bedding set, and free 32-inch TV, all for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this complete queen bedroom set and sleep in style, also for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. What an incredible deal! Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
New year, new Chevy. Let's get it done at Days Chevrolet in Jasper with huge savings on the Chevy trucks you want, like $8,000 off new Silverado crew cabs, or save over $7,500 off a new Chevy Equinox. Every Chevy truck and SUV discounted big. See Days Chevrolet in Jasper, and let's get it done.
Days Chevrolet. Days gets it done.
Find new roads.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Hey, folks, we are back, and we have the star of the show. This may be, fingers crossed. I gotta get to where I can cross my fingers again. Maybe his last appearance on Pet of the Week. Maybe.
Sit.
Our friend and yours, Nico. We know Nico. Tell us why we have our fingers crossed.
Nico has a possible adoption coming up. The man, single man, he's been coming to visit Nico every day this week. He is so excited.
Him the puppy.
And he loves Nico. Nico loves him. Nico doesn't know a stranger. He loves everybody.
Oh, he's a happy guy.
Yeah. And I'm going to take him to the house on Wednesday, and we'll look at some things there and go over some things. And Nico may not come home. He may not come back to the shelter.
Are you excited, Nico?
So I wanted to bring him here
so
one
Nico
last
really
time.
likes him?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
He just jumped up on him, gave him kisses, and the guy was like, oh, my goodness, oh, my goodness. So it's really good. Hopefully it's a very good ending. And
how long has Nico been out there?
He's been with us over 2 years.
Nico's been there 2 years. You have been a regular. I think, there's the guest hosts of Saturday Night Live. Like who you have probably had more guest appearances on on Pet of the Week than any other pooch since we started, and I've never quite understood why somebody didn't just rush in and take you home. You're an amazing guy, beautiful dog. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, so are we. And with that said, now, like I said, he's been with us over 2 years. So what he has known for over 2 years is us and the shelter. So when you do adopt a dog, there's going to be a period that he needs, and any dog needs, in a new home to learn what he's supposed to do there. He knows what to do here. And we don't even have to, we just open up his kennel, he goes back in. He knows exactly what to do.
Right, he's
every
been there
single
2
day.
years.
Yes. So now he's going to have to adjust and work with his new owner and learn his new owner's commands. And it takes patience when you do adopt a dog from us, from any shelter, from the animal control, wherever. Give them time. You have to give him time to adjust to his new surroundings, to his new commands, to his new routine, because his routine's going to change. And these are things that we will go over when I take him over there Wednesday. We'll go over all of this stuff. And
are you excited?
We're very excited for him. I think he's excited.
Are you excited? You're going to get a new home, Nico? Okay. Well, folks, we are so excited. Our fingers are crossed that you come back next week and give us a great report on your visit. Now, behave yourself when you get over there, young man. Okay? Don't show out. Behave yourself, because you're going for a new home. So Nico is going for his forever home Wednesday.
Yep.
And everybody keep that in mind. Write that down in your book. We wish Nico the best Wednesday.
Yes, we do.
For his forever home. Can't wait for the report. Help find a forever home for one of these great pets at the Humane Society of BlueRidge.org. Dogs, cats.
We have puppies. We have kittens.
How's Titan doing?
Yes. Titan, my little puppy at the house.
Yeah, can you bring him?
He's only 5 weeks. I can't take him anywhere just yet, but I will try. I'll see how it goes for 6 or 7 weeks.
I need to see him.
Okay, all right. Mom's still being a wonderful mom, which is Shelby, and so when I pick them up, she's very interested. Am I hurting them? So to take them out of the house, because I have the mom too, to take them out of the house.
So Titan, is that his sister?
Lexi is the sister.
Can you bring
Shelby's,
both of them?
Oh, I will try. Yeah. Shelby's the mom, and she's still with me also. So when I pick them up to move them, to clean their area or to do whatever, Shelby's there like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you hurting them?
Yes, I love the
And then I
Nico.
put them down and she checks them out.
I love the puppy. I love the puppy.
But yeah, I'll see. I'll find out when I can bring them
I love
here.
the puppy. Yes, I love the puppy. Okay,
But
I
I'm telling
get
you,
it.
you're going to fall in love. You're going to fall in love.
Folks, we have plenty of great pets, cats, dogs, puppies, kittens. Humane Society of BlueRidge.org. You can go on there and look at all of them. If you want to make an appointment today to come out and see the great pets out there and what a great job they do. They have an intake program. The pets have gone through this intake program, and when you adopt one of their pets, they guarantee a disease-free, ready to go home, microchipped, spayed, neutered, everything's complete. Let's just put it like that. Ready to go.
You're getting a healthy dog.
Healthy
And we
pet.
have some adults. We have some young adults, old adults, puppies. We have 4 puppies right now. But when I say puppies, I'm talking 5 or 6 months old.
Looking for family pet, looking to add a pet, you already have a couple, looking for a companion dog, they know how to help fit that pet into your life.
Or cat.
Or kitten.
We have some lovely cats.
So we know it's Humane Society of Blue Ridge.org. How else can they get in touch with you?
Give us a call at 706-632-4357. We are asking to make appointments to come out and see the dogs and cats, obviously still following COVID rules. And we're open Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 10 to 5. And Tuesday and Sunday we're closed. Saturdays, 10 to 2, I'm sorry. And we're at 171 Mineral Springs Road, which is just off of Ascot. And in case you didn't know it, the dog park is closed right now. So don't go to the dog park right now, which is just down the street from the Humane Society of Blue Ridge. So come on out. If you go to our website, you can see all of the dogs and cats that we have up for adoption.
Nico, we love you. We do hope, yes, I'm talking about you. We do hope it's your last appearance here, but we can't wait to hear a great update. Folks, it's been a great show. We've enjoyed it so much. Thank you, Emily. We always enjoy our Friday show here because, hey, when we leave here, we head right into the weekend. We hope you join us. Don't forget, come back Monday morning at 8 a.m., fyntv.com. Emily, let's wrap this up. Thank you very much. Nico, you behave yourself Wednesday.